I'm sure that for many, the toys-to-life genre is one that needs no introduction. The genre was revolutionary for its time, and spawned many well-known franchises, with a few examples being LEGO Dimensions, Disney Infinity, Amiibo, and of course, the juggernaut that was the Skylanders franchise. However, in the chaotic shuffle of various companies constantly gunning to dominate the genre, many potential competitors were quickly cast aside and subsequently lost to time. One unfortunate example being the topic of this retrospective, Lightseekers. Hello and welcome to the Absolute Gamecast. Today I'll be discussing both games in the short-lived Lightseekers franchise, some details of their creation, and why they've been almost forgotten today. The series likely began development back in 2016 and was created by indie game studio PlayFusion with one goal in mind: to create a unique interactive gaming experience the world had never seen before. To achieve their goal, they pooled all their resources together and teamed up with international toy company Tomy to create a high-quality line of posable 7-inch action figures. Each figure would come equipped with a special mini-computer called a Fusion Core, which would connect the figure directly to the game through Bluetooth once activated. They would also produce hundreds of unique trading cards tied to their very own next-gen TCG. These cards could also be scanned to unlock various perks in both games. To raise enough money to continue supporting their indie studio while also prematurely gauging interest in the game, a Kickstarter was created with an initial goal of $200,000. With the help of its 1,635 backers, the Kickstarter would successfully surpass its goal, and on July 1st, 2017, Lightseekers was born. Released for free exclusively on mobile devices, Lightseekers is an action-adventure RPG developed by PlayFusion. Lightseekers is set on the magic planet of Tantos, where eons ago a race of magic beings known as the Colossi roamed the planet, but in the present have since gone missing. Suddenly, an army of cruel Umbron warriors appear and begin plotting to steal ancient Colossi relics to use their great power to conquer the world. To combat the overwhelming threat, the Lightseekers, a group of 6 powerful magic-wielding heroes, come together to put a stop to the Umbron invasion once and for all, and discover what caused the Colossi's disappearance. On top of the game's solid plot, I feel like one of the strongest aspects of Lightseekers' story is found in its world building. Tantos is a very open, thriving world with many various biomes filled with rich lore and lots of secrets to be found. Everywhere you go, there are lots of NPCs spanning various species, each with their own unique cultures, personalities, and jobs to help you on your playthrough. Overall, I really enjoy the story of this game. To me, it has the right amount of mystery and action to keep players going, along with many new characters to meet and hours of fun adventures to embark on whenever you're ready. Each Lightseeker belongs to one of 6 magic orders, those being Astral, Dread, Mountain, Storm, Tech, and Nature, each with their own 3 unique sub-elements. They also each come with their own pool of moves to choose from and 9 gear slots to increase their stats. During combat, your Lightseekers automatically use their weaker basic attacks, but they also have 5 stronger abilities with various special effects that have to be manually selected and require adequate mana to use. While it does fill up on its own, you can accelerate the process by either selecting an ability of the matching symbol shown on the combo button, or you can also grab items that fly off enemies when damaged, one of which gives you a combo charge. Pressing the button once the meter is full unleashes a powerful combo attack. These typically either damage or debuff a single target, or release a huge blast that destroys all enemies on screen. The combo's damage also stacks each time the meter is full after it's already charged, potentially allowing you to hurl disgusting amounts of damage straight into your opponent's face at the press of a button. The system works great in my opinion because it often encourages players to use abilities they might not use otherwise. However, each combo is limited to once per battle, so you can't abuse them. Another thing I believe Lightseekers does well in its gameplay is allowing you to customize the majority of the growth process. Aside from the usual gaining XP and equipping gear found in dungeons like in other games, there are several other unique modifications you can make. You can gain talent points exchangeable at the skill tree to boost certain aspects of your character's abilities or playstyle. You can also use Lightstones, which apply various enchantments to your gear, and Lightstone fragments that are used to upgrade them. With all this customization, you get to build your hero however you want, and that's just what you can do in-game without the figures. Speaking of the figures, did you forget this was a Toys to Life game? With a figure connected, you also get the ability to customize the physical weapons or tools the figure holds, and it carries over to the game. Want to play a melee build? Give the Mario sword. Want to play a ranged build? Boom! gun. There are also gliders for side content and shields you can equip as well. Playing with the figures also grants various randomized bonuses, and some areas around the map require ownership of certain figures to enter. They also help you know when your combo is charged, or yell at you to heal them when their health is low. I like playing with my singular Korra figure occasionally because it helps with immersion and feels like she's right there exploring with me. Aside from the previously mentioned bonuses, the figures are entirely optional, which I always kinda liked because you can technically play the game without needing to buy a starter pack if you're on the fence, and then if you decide you'd like the full experience, you can just pick one up later. I really enjoyed playing through Lightseekers. If the sheer length of this section of the video didn't make it obvious, there's a lot of content in this game, and I didn't even cover all of it. So if you do decide to play the game, there's still hours and hours of content packed into this game for you to discover for yourself. Next, I'd like to discuss Lightseekers TCG. Unlike the RPG, this game was released free on mobile first, but was later ported to PC and Switch for free as well. There's also a physical card game as well that I'll be discussing briefly later. However, since both versions share similarities, for the sake of this video, I'll be primarily focusing on the online version. Similar to other online card games, Lightseekers TCG doesn't feature a progressing story. Although you're sitting at a table playing a card game, it doesn't really need a deep story. It does make up for this, however, by instead featuring a number of lore documents and side story campaigns you can occasionally pull from in-game booster packs and chests. Each document provides you with short lore details about either the world itself or the various races that inhabit it. I find these lore documents fascinating because even though it might be a bit annoying that you have to go out of your way to collect them all, which I haven't yet, I feel like the information they provide adds significant depth to the world building of both games for those who are willing to seek them out, making the grind well worth it. In terms of design, this game keeps it pretty simple. The card artwork is really good, and there are well-designed custom playmats you can buy. However, there aren't that many flashy animations or effects, but the ones that are there are pretty good. That's really about all there is to say for this section. Transitioning into the gameplay, to play the Lightseekers card game, you're gonna need a deck. Decks in this game consist of 1 hero card, 5 combo cards, and 30 action cards. New cards are collected by opening booster packs or by scanning the physical trading card, allowing you to craft it easier in-game. Each card you collect belongs to one of the 6 orders featured in the previous game, with each order designed around a specific playstyle, so to succeed at the game, finding the one that best fits yours is paramount. There's a beginner's guide for each order on the official Lightseekers YouTube channel, so I'd recommend checking that out for more information on how each order plays. During matches, turns are broken up into 3 phases: the buff phase, action phase, and draw phase. During the buff phase, you rotate all applicable buff cards you currently have in play and trigger their effects. The action phase is where you actually get to play cards from your hand. Unless stated otherwise, you get 2 actions, and can use them to play up to 2 action or buff cards, or 1 combo from your hand per turn. Finally is the draw phase, where you draw cards for every unused action you have after the previous phase. You then pass the turn and the cycle repeats until a winner is crowned. Winning is just a simple numbers game. You simply utilize the cards in your deck to weaken or damage your opponent. If your opponent's HP drops to 0, you win. Some cards also have a strategy that increases their effectiveness, so you do have to play smart as well to get the most out of your deck. As an example, the card Thunder Fiend is a lightning card from the Storm Order that deals a flat 3 damage to your opponent, but will instead deal 7 if they have 5 or less cards in their hand. The gameplay loop, while simple when broken down, has a surprising level of complexity when paired with the hundreds of cards to collect, each with their own effects, leading to tons of possible outcomes that make every match feel unique. Overall, I really enjoyed getting to play this game again, and despite it being easy to pick up, it can still be challenging to master. I did just start seriously learning the game a few weeks before making this video though, so I might just be suffering from a massive skill issue. Regardless, I definitely recommend checking it out, especially since it's probably the most practical way to experience the TCG today. To be fair, you can still find the physical cards secondhand online like I did, but that option may not be possible for everyone. So now we come to the question, what happened? What caused such an ambitious game filled with so much content and passion to suddenly disappear out of the public consciousness? While no official reasons were ever given, I believe the series' fate came down to a number of factors. Firstly, Lightseekers released in 2017. By that time, Disney Infinity had already been discontinued, LEGO Dimensions was on its way out, and even Skylanders was struggling, with Imaginators having come out the previous year to a series low in sales. With all that in mind, when Lightseekers released, few people were very interested in trying out another new Toys to Life game this far into the genre's lifespan. On top of that, Toys R Us, the main physical seller of the cards and figures, went bankrupt in 2018 and took the Lightseekers toy sales with it, meaning the dev team wouldn't have as much money to continue development of the game. Only 2 of the 3 likely planned waves of figures were ever released, leaving 2 out of the 6 Lightseekers completely unplayable to this day. While the card game released a few more physical sets before switching to fully digital for the rest of its expansions. While both games are still playable today, it's been a few years since their last major content updates, and it seems unlikely that any new updates will ever come out. While it's unlikely Lightseekers will ever come back, and I know I don't have the power to change that, my main hope in making this video is that I can at least try to preserve the series by helping people discover it for the first time. During my research, I watched some of the devlogs on the official Lightseekers channel, and from how they discussed the game in those videos, it's obvious just how much passion the developers had for Lightseekers and its world. I've seen and covered many passion projects with lots of promise like this, and watched many come and go with little fanfare, and I'd hate to see the same happen to Lightseekers. Although during my time playing the digital card game recently, I was surprised to see that there does seem to still be hardcore fans playing online to this day. I'm also happy to report that it seems like PlayFusion is still around making games, with their most recent one, Ascendant, releasing April 5th, 2023, and as of December 4th, 2024, they're currently making games under the studio Build a Rocket Boy. If anyone at PlayFusion is somehow watching this video, thanks for watching, and thank you for all the hard work you put in to make Lightseekers and its world the most fun experience it could be. I hope that after all this time you still look back fondly on this series, and remember that there are people out here who haven't forgotten it, and are looking forward to seeing what else you guys have cooking up for the future. That's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Not gonna force you, do what you want. Thanks for tuning in, and that's the video. Bye.